Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another Corporate Clash ranking video. This time, Chandler and I are going to be reviewing the Corporate Clash's Unstable Cogs slash the Cogs in the Face the Family. We have 24 different Cogs to choose from, and we are going to list them based on priority. Alright, so we will start with the Sniper. This one basically punishes trigger happy Unite tunes. So if you are on cooldown, next user Unite, you're going to get attacked more. You're going to get prioritized by the Cogs. Overall, it's not too important, I would say. What is the damage that it usually does? Like 27 or something like that?
It depends. So if you are on cooldown, you get hit by any other cogs. The sniper is going to do 50% of that. So if you get hit for 60 damage, the sniper is going to hit you for 30 if you're on cooldown. In the past, it was 100%, so if you took 60, you take an additional 60, so essentially the sniper just matches it. But for whatever reason, they thought that was too much, so they dropped it down to 50%, which I think is a stupid change. Oh well.
Okay, yeah, so what Chandler said. If we were back when that 100% damage thing, I'd probably put high, maybe very high, but I'd probably put it mid for now, just because you can usually account for that damage by other tunes using Unites, and you probably get it taken away pretty quick after that. It's not too dangerous, in my opinion, if you can play the thing correctly. What do you think, Chandler?
I think mid's a good option. I like to see it in two different ways. If everyone's on reward cooldown, it definitely probably could be very high or high. But if no one's on cooldown, this guy's worthless. Very low. So I'll split it down the middle. I'll say it's mid priority. But I guess depending on the cooldown situation, this could be your worst nightmare. And if it's paired up with like a red tape, have fun.
Oh, yeah. Pair that up with a red tape, that is definitely no fun. Alright. Next we have the red tape. Basically just puts you on cooldown if you get hit by his red tape. I would say you could probably put it between high if the situation fits. Like if everybody's on cooldown, red tape hits you, you get on cooldown, you really need to unite, probably definitely very high to high. But that doesn't happen a lot, so I would probably put it mid. Just for that reason. I mean, if, like I said, if you really need the unites and everybody's on cooldown, that red tape hits you, you're on cooldown too, then definitely high, very high, but doesn't happen very much, like I said, so I put it mid.
We usually agree on a lot of things, but this is something I 100% disagree with you on. I think it's very high. It can hit two tunes. It's unavoidable.
That's true.
And you get 2 rounds of cooldown. That can stack for every time a red tape is thrown at you. I think it's very high because this is a fight where everything is so RNG dependent. And if you don't have a Unite to protect yourself from the RNG, you could lose easily and there's nothing you can do. So I would say very high. No questions asked.
It's a good point. I forgot about the Unite cooldown stacking up. I forgot about that. That's a good point though. I like that. Well, next we have the Contractor, which I think you said it can't be unstable, right?
It cannot. It's one of 3 that can't be unstable, along with the Sleepy and the Explosive.
So we're gonna put the Contractor, if we're going it off, unstable, very low. Burning. I don't know. It gives you a burning effect. If you're low on health and you can't use unites, say red tape hits you, then burning can definitely hurt you. I don't think I've been in many situations where the burning hurt me per se, but that's not to say that it can't happen. I mean, because can you get multiple of the same unstable cogs in a battle?
It's a good question. I'm not too sure.
I haven't had a battle where
no.
I've had the same, so I don't know. But since I've personally never been in a situation where burning has detrimentally affected me, I'm just going to put it in low. But the situation fits. I think you can put it higher. I'm not going to say you can't, but I'll put it down low because I've just never seen it hurt too much.
I'd put it at very low. It really doesn't do enough damage for it to be a problem. It's, I think, 15% of your max laugh.
That's right.
So it's only like 20 per round DOT.
Yep.
Negligible. Doesn't really do anything.
Yep, exactly.
Don't worry about it. It's not a game changer.
That's right. Sleepy, he can't do anything. He can't be unstable. Pretty easy to take out even when he's not unstable. So very low.
I agree, and I also want to consider the non-stable version. I usually just leave it alone, let it overcharge, and once I get it off overcharge, it's just a normal foreman.
Exactly.
Who cares?
Exactly. Explosive, I'm putting him very low. You know, he can't be unstable. If used properly, you can manipulate the cogs to get down to a low health range. I mean, this is when not unstable, obviously, and if you can get multiple cogs down to about 200 health, you can maybe take usually one cog out. That explosive is really beneficial. I mean, you take 80 damage, but I think the reward is well worth it.
I'm going to put it in mid. I think the biggest problem is people don't know how to attack the explosive. What I've seen people do, and this is a true story, is they will take out a cog round 1, and they will just do nothing to the explosive round 2, and what's going to happen? He's going to use workers' compensation, boost his damage up. He's also overcharged. That's going to boost his damage up anymore. When it comes to explode, boom, you're one shot. You can't do anything about it. So if you are going to take that approach and let the explosive off itself, I would say have it so a cog is underneath the 200 HP threshold. So the explosive damage itself will kill it. That's how I would approach it. But why I'm going to put it in mid is because it is a choice for you if you want to clear the explosive out. Because the problem, when you take it out, lower resistance for 1 round.
Yeah, that's right.
It could be problematic if you don't have the right setup. So if you want to use Squirt and Zap and there's a controlling alongside it, might not want to do that, and you might want to take out the explosive first before it offs itself. So that's ultimately a choice you're going to have to figure out before you even step into the fight, which is what I would recommend everyone do. Before you step into a fight, take like a minute or two to figure out what in the world you're going to do. Because if everyone steps in and everyone is just 40 seconds in trying to figure out what's going on, if you don't have a game plan going in, you're just doomed to fail.
Yep, very well said, Chandler. Very well said, thank you. So next we're going to move to the Mint Supervisors. First we have Confused. His base cheat is basically just content sink. Move your gags around. Very low.
Self-evident. Yeah. I'm confused on why this guy's even in here.
Yeah. I mean, you could put him below Contractor, Sleepy, and Explosive.
He also has the same basic cheat as the head attorney, so I guess he's both a mint supervisor and a head attorney. Something I have figured out is a lot of people forget the base cheats.
Yeah.
I don't know if we want to go over those because I don't think it's a big deal. But if you've done this at least one time, you know what the base cheats are. So
yeah.
Who really cares?
Exactly.
But just remember that.
So controlling. I mean, if he's unstable, it's not the biggest deal because he's going to change. But obviously, if he's not unstable, then he's kind of annoying. I don't know. I guess like if we're talking unstable wise, like you could put him low or very low just because you're not going to keep him. But if he is not unstable, you can probably put him mid to high. So I'm going to put him to mid just because I don't really know where else to rank him.
I'd put him high. I would definitely put him high. Just the fact you use a lot of group gags. Squirt counts as a group gag. Lure counts as a group gag.
That's right.
No one uses sound, but that's considered a group gag, obviously. And zap is also considered a group gag. People love using squirt and zap in Face of the Family, and it's extremely great. And controlling just cock blocks you from trying to do that at its maximum potential. And if you get this paired up with an Overseer, what are you really supposed to do?
Oh, yeah.
I guess just trap, throw, drop, and pray. So I would say high.
Yeah.
Definitely. It just slows things down too much.
Oh,
Because
yeah.
you have to start using single target gags.
Yep, that's fair. That's a very good point. Next we got Spongy. So this one, he basically just absorbs damage. If you're attacking other cogs, he can definitely be annoying. But if you attack him with big damage and another cog, you can do some serious damage to Spongy. So I'm gonna put him at low because you can take advantage of his cheats. Very good if you set it up properly. But yeah, I'm putting him at low.
Again, I strongly disagree. This is very high. You want to hit him. That's the priority.
Okay, yeah,
because
we are doing the priority.
If you attack a different cog, what's gonna happen? He's gonna absorb some damage, probably like 200 or 300. But what's gonna happen? He's just gonna use his basic cheat and heal himself back up.
That's right.
So if you keep attacking other cogs, he's only absorbing at the end of everything like 30 flipping damage. That's it. You have to take him out. You have to hit him. And I see a lot of people hit other cogs. Why? That's the dumbest thing you can do. So I would say Spongy is like the utmost priority if you ever see him.
Sorry, I forgot we were doing based on priority. I was thinking based on dangerous, but yeah, I'm very high too.
It is also dangerous. It is very dangerous. Absolutely.
I'm definitely very high on the priority list. Yeah, I agree with that too. Sorry about that one. Next we got Fraudulent. I mean, it gets more dangerous if it's left alone. When doing a group attack, it'll do 4 times self-damage. Based on priority, I don't know, maybe mid. What do you think?
I think it's just like the sniper where you have to look at it in 2 different ways. If it's brand new, round 1, round 2, not really a big deal. I would just leave it alone. But once it starts racking up damage, so what this guy does is he basically does damage to himself every time he does damage to a tune. And you might think, okay, that's fine. He's just slowly going to kill himself. Well, the problem is what's going to happen. Life is going to kick in. So he's going to get all of that back. And instead of the +5 damage boost, it's going to be +10.
Yep,
so if you keep him around for 4 or 5 rounds, this will be your worst nightmare. I'd put that very high, but just starting out very low. So mid, I'd put it down the middle in general. But I'd say, just like the sniper, look at it in 2 different ways. Just
very
don't let this guy
situational.
standing around too long.
Yep, exactly. Next we got Abacus. So Abacus kind of has like that's one that tells you how many to target. Is that right?
No, this one is you have to use a certain amount of gag levels on the Abacus itself.
Oh, that's right. So priority wise, he can become very high if you have to use more than a certain level of gags. Priority wise, he can be very low if you can't use a certain level of gags. So I mean, since he's unstable, I'm just gonna put him at mid because you can either get an unstable Abacus that tells you to use less than like 7 levels, or you can get an Abacus that tells you to use more than like 16 levels. So just for that reason, mid. But if he was a non-unstable cog, I'd probably put his priority at high, because when you give him the chance, you want to make sure you can get rid of Abacus. But unstable, I'm putting him at mid.
I'd put this guy at very low. I think the problem I have is he doesn't really change much. If he asks for more levels than a certain amount, just hit him directly. If he's asking for below, just focus on other cogs. As long as you do that, he is a non-factor.
Yep. Very true. Accountant, basically the same thing, I would say. It's not too important if you're not forced. But I'm sure Chandler's probably going to put him low to very low, because they're basically one and the same.
You could not be more wrong. This one is high or very high. Because this guy can mess up your plans easily. If it asks for 3 targets, good luck group luring. If it's asking for 1 target, good luck trying to score and zap. You're going to struggle. The problem I have with this guy is he changes up so much of your original plan. If you want to score and zap and only ask for 1 target, well, too bad. If you want to just entirely hit 1 cog and ask for 3 targets, good luck. That's not going to work out. You can do it, but you're going to get hit with the synergy attack. But because his target requirement always deviates from what you want to do, I think this is high or very high. I'm actually going to put it very high. Definitely put it very high. So,
yeah,
you're definitely wrong. I put it way up there.
Well, I definitely respect it, and I kind of just thought it based on the fact that unstable, it could be different based on whatever it gave. So
yeah,
that's why I put mid.
I'm kind of basing it on not unstable, because you'll never get the true potential of a cog if it just switches every single round. Like a Mulligan, you're not going to get the full potential of a cog if it just disappears after 1 round. But I think it's good we disagree, because the comments will tell either of us, like, oh, you're stupid for thinking this, or I'm just a total moron for putting accountant at very high. I think it's great for discussion. That's just my take on it.
Oh yeah, I like it. I do like it a lot. So next we have Chrono. So since he's an unstable, and we're talking about unstable, I would put him low to mid, because you're not going to get a lot of rounds, and like Chandler said, you're not going to get his full potential. But if he was not unstable, I'd say mid to high to very high, because he can speed the battle up very fast, and before you know it, you're going to be at 4 times battle speed. Not going to have much time to pick your gags. So very high to high, maybe for normal non-unstable Chrono, but for unstable, I'd probably just put him low to mid. If there was a ground between those two, that's where I put him, but I'm going to put him at mid, just because he can become a problem if you get Chrono multiple times as an unstable cog.
Yeah, I mean, I think if it's just Chrono without the unstable, it's very high, 100%. It might be good to speed up the battle maybe 1 time or 2 times, or 1.5 and 2 times, but it can go up to 8 times if it uses it, I think, 14 different times. Do not try that. It is terrible, and people are like, all right, well, if I keep it to 6 times, it's just like the pace setter. That's totally wrong. Let me just say that straight up, because when the rush ups happen in the pace setter, you have that animation time to figure out what you're going to do. And when the timer starts, you already know what you're going to do. Yep. But what happens in here if it's 6 times speed? All right, let's just say you get an account. You have to check the targets, and by then, you probably only got like 2-3 seconds to figure everything out.
Yep.
So if you get to 8 times and you're with randoms, kiss your chances goodbye. Very high.
It's going to hurt very much, that's for sure. All right, so next we got Omnipotent. This one, what's his effect? I don't remember.
He bans 2 gag tracks ranging from 5 to 8.
Oh, that's right. So I would say, if we're strictly talking about unstable, he could be mid to low because, like Chandler mentioned before, you're not going to get its full effect. Maybe high to mid as a non-unstable because sometimes you need that level 8 gag. Sometimes you have that level 7 gag against the Omnipotent. Sometimes you won't. So you can put him high to mid, but I'll probably put him low to mid again just because it's just a simple gag track level, not a whole gag track.
I'd put it in mid. I think it's bad when it bans 6 and 8s and you need group gags. Yep. I think that's a big detriment. But it doesn't really change your planes too much. You just have to use like a different level of gag. I don't think it's that big of a threat, but if there are cases where it bans 6 and 8s, that's when it's truly a problem. Man, if you want to use like a single target and it bans 5 to 7s, have fun with that. If one toon is suffering, everyone else is full, and it bans 6 and 8s, or 5s and 7s, then good luck. Yeah, probably fully unite or just waste a flipping juggling cube on one toon. I don't know.
Yeah, not very fun.
I'd put it in mid.
Next we got Monolithic. This one, it can ban the gag track in general. It can ban tune-up, or if matched with Laborious, and this is just strictly talking about non-unstable, it could ban the track needed for the rush job. So, he could be very important. He's obviously much more dangerous than the Omnipotent. So, based on my ranking, you could put him mid to high. You could put him high for Chandler. I'm just going to put mid because I haven't seen him paired with Laborious myself. I know it can happen. But usually if he bans tune-up, we still got unites. If you got prestige throw, you can get self-heals. However, if he's paired with like red tape and your tune-up's banned and you are on cooldown, then it can go to very high because you can get into a really bad situation. But I'm sure that situation doesn't happen too much, so I'm just gonna put him in mid. But situation persists, you can do very high for sure.
So you're gonna just say I'm gonna put him in high. Okay, let's do that. Bans 2 gag tracks, 25% chance it's gonna ban the gag you want, and nothing is more frustrating when everyone is suffering and dying, and this guy bans throw and tune up.
Yep.
And it's happened too many times to name. And quite frankly, a 25% chance it's gonna ban a gag is way too damn high for my liking.
Oh yeah.
And it could change things up really easy. Oh, all the cogs are soaked. Oh, let's just ban Zap. Or, oh, we have a trap set up and all the cogs are not club presidents. Oh, let's just ban lure so you can't lure the cogs in. Stuff like that just pisses me off. And it happens way too often. So this guy is in high.
Yep. That like I said, I'm not disagreeing with Chandler at all. I can totally agree. Put him in high.
Put it very high. I would not be mad if someone said very high too, because this cog has ended runs. I have seen it happen. Yeah,
I think he might have ended a few of ours before. I don't know.
I don't know about that.
Yeah, I don't think so actually. I think we got rid of him pretty timely, but I don't know.
Yeah, timely, which means it's probably high priority if we took it out quickly.
Oh yeah, definitely.
One-upped you on that one, didn't I?
Yeah, you did. You got me there. Next we got Overseer. He's extremely dangerous, so pretty high priority. What's his thing?
So if you try and do knockback or combo damage, it gets reduced to 1, and whatever amount the cog was supposed to take just can heal himself instead.
Yeah, that's right.
Which is definitely a big deal.
Yeah, so definitely want to get rid of him with Squirt and Zap, basically. Very high priority.
Way to go about it.
Very high priority.
I I would put it mid or high. Again, as you said, Squirt and Zap is a fantastic option. I think it's like one of the best options in Face the Family in general. Now, I will say, again, if it gets paired up with the controlling, you're going to want to kill yourself. So.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but ideally, if I had to choose between taking out the controlling or the overseer, I'd take out the controlling. And I put controlling in high, so by default, I'm going to put it in mid.
Cannot disagree with you there. I cannot disagree at all. Next, we got Laborious. As mentioned before, they can force you to use any gag track. If paired with Monolithic, it can become problematic, but I mean, overall, I don't know, maybe mid. I mean, if paired with Monolithic, it can definitely become a big problem because he can ban the gag track that you got to use. But, I mean, because Laborious, everybody's going to have at least one gag track. So, it's not too much of a problem. And if unstable, you're not going to run into Laborious all the time. I'm just going to put him mid to low because that rush job is just not going to happen too much if you're unstable.
I'll put it in low. I'll definitely put it in low. If you ever wonder why one tune takes sound, is because of this wanker, just in the off chance that a sound rush job is activated. So definitely watch out for that. And it especially sucks if one person has sound and there's a puzzling and it puzzles that tune during the sound rush job and you can't use group target gags. Automatic fail. Again, if it's paired with a Monolithic and it bans the rush job you need, it's impossible, you're gonna fail. And something that also can happen is if a rush job is initiated in the same round as a deep freeze, cogs go first, you automatically fail it. But those are so niche situations, I would not even worry about it. It basically guarantees a hit. It actually does guarantee a hit, so I would definitely take advantage of that. It's not that big of a deal. I think it's low. You know, you'll eventually take out the rush shop cog. It's just a priority factor.
Oh, yeah. For sure. Next, we got Sneaky. Not exactly a very dangerous cog. I mean, he can just jump wherever he wants to. I mean, usually you just prioritize him if he's low and you can kill him and there's like one or two cogs. But I would probably just say very low because, I mean, you might get him for one round as unstable. And his cheat just isn't where I would say I'd prioritize it over someone else's. I mean, it can mess up Squirt and Zap if you don't utilize it properly with Sneaky, but otherwise, I don't know, it's just not too dangerous in my opinion.
Yeah, I would put it in low. I think a lot of people go about it the wrong way. I can't tell you how many times I've seen people just try and absolutely annihilate one cog with a $50 bill in weddings, only for the Sneaky to jump in, the objection goes off, and you get absolutely drilled. I would say I usually keep it for last. Because the less cogs there are in battle, the less effective this guy's going to be. If there's 3 cogs in battle, you have a 33% chance of picking the right location. Yep. If there's 3 cogs left, you have a 50% chance, and if there's only 2 left, you will always know where he's going to go because he's never going to be in his original position. He is always going to move.
Yep.
So I'd say low or even very low, but I think based on the other cogs that I put very low, like Abacus, I'd say the Sneaky is more important, so I would put it in low.
Yeah, for sure. Next we have Chip Fan. He builds up RPM similar to Chip. He can do Bayou Bellow, which can just take all cog weaknesses away. But as an unstable cog, you're not going to run into Chip very often. I mean, unless you're Chandler and I, which we seem to always run into club presidents, so you're more likely to get him. But otherwise, I mean, you can just trigger Bayou Bellow. It's not a very dangerous cheat. And I mean, you shouldn't prioritize him too much so as not to go past that threshold. So I would put low to mid just because you don't want to push him past that RPM limit.
I'd put him at very low. The reason why I put it very low is because this is a cog you can easily manipulate. I kid you not. Hit him one time, he's going to do the little snap cheat where he just targets a tune.
Yep.
You basically are vulnerable for a round or two. Hit him twice, he's going to do an attack and then heal himself by 10 times that amount. Hit him 3 times, Bayou Bellow, just removes all the negative effects. And 4 times, I'm pretty sure he just snipes 2 tunes for 50 damage. Here's all you got to do. Leave him till last. And once he is alone, hit him 3 times. The Bayou Bellow cheat does absolutely nothing.
Literally.
You can easily manipulate this guy. Just leave him alone. Don't even bother. Just wait.
Yeah.
Very low priority.
And lore doesn't even count as an RPM buildup, so lore, 3 throw.
I actually don't know. I can't confirm or deny that. Maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. I actually don't know. If anyone wants to figure that out, let us know on how wrong we are, and it actually does count for RPM game.
Yeah, we would love to know. So Mulligan, if he's an unstable cog, not exactly too dangerous. So, I mean, you don't got to prioritize him too much. But if he's not an unstable cog, his priority is high to very high because those tee-offs, they'll build up. They'll hit you really hard. But, like I said, if you're dealing with an unstable cog, I mean, probably mid, just because you don't want him to hit you more. But you're not going to have him very long as an unstable cog since they change every round, so you're not going to get its full potential, like Chandler mentioned earlier. But if he's not unstable, very high. I'm putting him mid for unstable.
Non-stable, I'm putting very high, 100%. Some people like to leave this guy. I do not know why. That is the dumbest thing I've ever seen. If you leave him around for 7 rounds, he's going to hit you 8 times.
Yeah.
1 time for his base attack, and then 7 more times, since that's how many rounds I passed with him alive. I have seen it. I have seen people die, and they say the game is unfair. No, you're just stupid. Take this guy out first when you can. That's all I'm going to say.
Yep, exactly. Take him out as soon as possible. If he's not unstable, of course, because like Chandler said, he can hit you more and more every round. You do not want that. Next we got Shivering. Pretty similar effect that we got in Plutocrat. Basically, I mean, we tend to not prioritize this guy, at least in our runs, too much, because you don't want to send him into deep freeze. Let the cogs hit you first. And if you got Laborious, game over. But, I mean, you don't really want to send him to deep freeze, so you're not going to hit him too much. So very low to low priority, just based on how many times you want to hit him. So I'm going to put him very low.
I would also put him in very low, although I think putting him in defreeze might be beneficial. Because if a cog shatters, then those remaining cogs are going to be 20% more vulnerable to gags. Wouldn't really recommend it, but again, this is just like the Chip Fan Club. You can manipulate this guy easily. If you don't want to send him into defreeze, don't hit him 3 or more times.
Yep.
Just hit him once or twice, and this guy is a non-factor.
Yeah. Very true. Next we got Puzzling. I mean, all he does is make your tune confused, so you're not going to hit the cog you chose, but he's definitely easily manipulatable. Use some zap, just hit the cog you didn't intend to zap, and you're going to hit the cogs that you wanted to zap. And you can do something similar with tune-up. I would just hope that you do get the right tune, but priority-wise, I mean, if he's not unstable, he can get annoying, mess up your battle. a little bit, but he's not too dangerous because of his puzzling factor. So I put him low to very low.
I'll barely put him in very high. I do think he can be manipulated, but the problem is it's harder to do than someone like Sneaky, and when the consequences happen, it is miles worse with the puzzling than a Sneaky. Just, you're helpless. You are helpless. You can't use group gags, and
That's
you
true.
just are just pointing your gags at random things. Again, you can easily manipulate it. So, like, if you want to use a squirt and zap on 4 cogs, don't be the idiot to squirt. Let someone else who's not confused squirt and just zap the cog you don't want to go for, and then you're guaranteed to hit something. But a lot of people apparently don't know this, and it's very frustrating when people just, point their confused as at the cog they want, only to find out, oh wait, I'm not going to attack my intended target. But I would say it's terrible, very high, especially since you're going to spend a lot of time with 4 cogs, and again, the consequences with the puzzling is way worse than the Sneaky.
That is very fair. That's very fair to make. And I can't disagree. I like your points. Next, we're going to move on to Ancient. When he hits you, he 25% less damage. And it can break some combos. Definitely best to take advantage of him before you do get hit and lose 25% of your damage. So I'd probably put him high to mid because you do want to prioritize him so you don't lose 25% of your damage. But at the end of the day, 25% is not a lot. I mean, if you need it, it's a lot. But overall, it's not too much. But I would probably put him in high just so you don't lose that 25% damage. What do you think?
I'm going to put it very low, dude.
Oh,
I mean, to me, the 25% less damage is not even that big of a factor because I like to see Face the Family as not doing as much damage as you can, but it's to alleviate damage from the cogs and not die.
good point.
So I don't think just flat out damage is a factor. And the big thing you want to do if you want to take advantage of doing a lot of damage is just if you're in a setup where once you walk in, you can just take out 1 cog. The Ancient's not going to do anything until after round 1.
Yeah.
And that's usually where you get the big damage from, is in that very first round when you see you can take out 1 cog in the first round. That's about it. You're really never at a point in any battle after round 1 where you just want to be like, let me just attack this guy as hard as I can. That usually never happens. So that's why I'm going to put him very low.
Okay. All right. I like that point. That is a good point to make. So now we finally move on to high stakes. Probably very high priority because he can ruin your gags. I think he can make all 3 tunes. Well, I mean, I guess all 4 tunes. Big gag loss. Could definitely ruin your gags. Although he can give you 2 times damage, and it's nice when he does that, but you can't always bank on that. So you want to take the RNG out as fast as possible. Very high stakes.
I would put it in mid. I just don't know. If you want to gamble, go ahead. I think this is the pure definition of a gambler's mindset because when people see that big win, they're so excited and they're just like, oh, we can take advantage of this. What I like to say is the house always wins. What goes up must come down. And we are smart enough to know if we get a big win, the chances of us getting another big win is little. Very little. And a lot of people are like, oh, the chances of winning is the same as losing. It is way more probable that you're going to get a big loss than a big win. So if you want to gamble, go ahead. I think it's a terrible idea just because your chances of losing are way higher than winning. Again, this is the gambler mindset. So if you gamble, talk to your nearest friend, get some help.
That's very true.
I would put it in that. I usually don't like to keep this. Guy around, but it's not gonna totally screw you over too much. The worst thing that'll happen is just you takes an extra round to kill a cog if you get some losses in there.
That's a good point.
Yeah. And I think that was the last of it, right?
Yeah, that was the last of it.
Oh man, we usually agree on a lot of things, but this one we completely disagreed with. But at the end of the day, we play really well with each other.
Yeah, I think
no homo.
I-
We work well together. We don't fail often. But we want to hear from you guys. Is Eddie the dumbass or am I? Or are we both justified in where we put these cogs? I truly don't know.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure either. I haven't had too much experience with these cogs, so I mean, I think I've done like 3 or 4 total. Yeah, I think I have like 3 or 4 total, but you got me some when I was gone, so that might have been what it was.
I've done about like 15 to 20.
Yeah.
So I've done it with randoms. I've done it with people I know. I've seen it all.
Yeah,
So
you're
maybe
right.
that's why we differ.
I think
I don't know.
I just got used to, or I think I'm just too used to just us playing, and I'm too used to that comfort because basically I know what's gonna happen in our battles.
Keep the comfort. That's what I would say.
Yeah.
Going with randoms is something you just don't want to do unless absolutely necessary. If you have people you know, you're gonna go with them. That's just the bottom line.
That is very true. I think I only did one of these with randoms, and I think I don't even did what was I think it was just the normal face to family. It wasn't even overclocked or anything like that.
I've done a couple with randoms. I got reported one time for doing one with a random because they're like, I think we should keep Spongy as long as possible, and I called them an idiot. I didn't get banned though, so no harm, no foul.
Idiots. Yeah,
Let's keep red tape. I don't think we should.
Definitely
I think we should clear
not.
him.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Well, guys, this is our corporate clash. Face the family, unstable cog tier lists. I will share Chandler's tier list with you guys so you guys can see his, and then compare ours, and then you guys let us know what you guys like, what you guys didn't like, whether we're idiots or not. Just let us know.
It's going to happen.
Oh, definitely.
I'm confident with my list, so if they call me an idiot, I will accept it. I'm not going to switch up though.
Oh yeah, me too. That's what the internet's for, right? That's what the
we can take it.
For.
We can take it. Don't worry. I know we play Toontown, but we can't take an ounce of criticism.
Oh, for sure. Criticism is very welcome here.
What an adventure this was.
That sure was. Well, guys, like we said, just let us know your rankings. Let us know how we differ. You guys make sure to subscribe, and hopefully Chandler and I can get back to making more of these tier lists for you guys. Any last words, Chandler?
Eddie's the idiot and not me. So if you're going to disagree with him and agree with me.
That's right. That's right. All right, guys. We'll catch you later.